The Law Offices of Brian J. Smith. If you have been charged with an Ohio OVI, you will want to know what the mandatory minimum penalties and what the maximum penalties are. An Ohio OVI conviction, sometimes referred to as a DUI or even DWI, will result in mandatory minimum penalties that are found in Ohio Revised Code Section 4511.19. Those penalties will depend upon whether you have had prior OVI convictions, whether you refused an evidentiary chemical test, which is most often an alcohol breath test, and what level you registered on the test, most often your blood alcohol content, BAC level. If you agree to take the breath test or blood test and register a BAC level of 0.08 but less than 0.17, or a urine test with a level greater than 0.11 but less than 0.238, you have a low-tier OVI. If the breath test level was greater than 0.17 or the urine level was greater than 0.238, you have a high-tier OVI. The high-tier OVI penalties also apply if you refuse the chemical test and have had a prior OVI conviction within the past 20 years. If this is the first OVI in 10 years and you plead guilty, no contest, or are found guilty, the mandatory minimum penalty for a low-tier OVI will be either 3 days in jail or a 3-day driver's intervention program, which is a 3-day program typically held at a hotel during which drug and alcohol-related seminars are provided. The cost is around $500. For a high-tier OVI conviction, the mandatory minimum penalty increases to either 6 days in jail or 3 days in jail plus the 3-day driver's intervention program. Whether low-tier or high-tier, the court may impose incarceration for up to 6 months, probation for up to 5 years, a chemical dependency evaluation and treatment, restricted license plates, and an interlock system. Additionally, you will also face a license suspension of 1 to 3 years, resulting in a license reinstatement fee and 6 points to your driving record. For a second OVI in 10 years, the penalties increase to either 10 days in jail or 5 days of jail plus 18 days of house arrest for a low-tier OVI. For a high-tier OVI, the mandatory minimum penalty will include 20 days of jail or 10 days of jail with 36 days of house arrest. For both tiers, the fine increases to $525 to $1,625. The license suspension increases to 1 to 7 years. The restricted license plates and interlock system become mandatory if an alcohol-related OVI. Participation in an alcohol drug program becomes mandatory as well, and the vehicle will be immobilized for 90 days if registered to you. For a third OVI in 10 years, the mandatory minimum penalties for low tier increase to either 30 days of jail or 15 days of jail plus 55 days of house arrest for a low tier. For a high tier, the penalties are increased to either 60 days of jail or 30 days of jail plus 110 days of house arrest. The maximum jail time increases from 6 months to 1 year. The fine is increased to $850 to $2,750. The license suspension is increased to 2 to 12 years, and the vehicle will be forfeited if registered to you. For a fourth OVI or more in 10 years, the penalties continue to increase in the felony range. The attorneys at Smith's Law Offices provide personalized representation, valued for their experience and respected for their skills. If you live on the northern coast of Ohio and find yourself in need of an attorney, contact us for a free telephone consultation at 800-641-1970.